What's up, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. Today we're working on the Ducati. The Triumph is feeling a little lonely. Both Triumphs. I'm going to start getting into those. But today we're working on the DUCATI Sport Classic. We finally got our tags. Very excited. I couldn't film this, but I made this. Okay? And it looks so clean. Light for you so you can see. This looks so clean. Right? Check this out. Yeah, I wanted to film it, guys, but it took me like 2.5 days to do all the wiring and some of the sheet metal that I used and the fabrication and all that stuff. It was way too much stuff. It would have taken like 6 hours of video into like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I wasn't gonna do all that work. I took some turn signals from Amazon, and I took a little LED strip from Amazon and made myself a little thing like aluminum. I hope you guys can see it. Not that difficult, but yeah, today I'm gonna show you guys. I just wanted to show you that. I think it's pretty cool. I think it looks better than this other piece that's like really long and hangs down, which is the factory one. I can't stand that. This thing right here, I don't like it. Today we're talking about how to make this bike more comfortable. As you've seen in some of my other videos, and everybody that rides this bike says the same thing. It's extremely uncomfortable, and it's just not a very comfortable ride. It's the distance from the seat to the handlebars. It's such a long distance and a very long gap, and it makes the bike uncomfortable. So part of the problem is that when you're on the bike, your wrist, instead of it being like this, which is a perfectly normal position, it's either like this or like this. That's not really an issue. It's more like this. And so when you're reaching for the clutch, it gets very tiring very fast. So today we're going to remove a pin, and let's just get started. We'll go from there. Guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take an Allen wrench. In this case, I'm using a ratchet because I like to be quick. Allen wrenches are down here. And it's a 5mm, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove these two bolts right here. We're gonna loosen them, which is gonna break this whole thing loose, okay? It's a one piece. And then you're gonna take this off, and there's gonna be a pin under it that goes in here, and I'll show you in a little bit. And what you're gonna do is remove that pin. I don't know if it's an Allen wrench, or I don't know if it's something that you use with pliers and you just pull it off. It's my first time doing it, so I don't know what to expect, but it shouldn't be that hard. You see this pin right here? I thought it was like a Allen wrench or something, but it's not. I tried all these, none of them. I think we're just gonna have to get some good old-fashioned pliers and just yank that son of a gun out of there, because, see, I'll tell you what happens is, you see this thing right here, like goes in there, right? And then it keeps the clutch at a certain angle, and your wrist is, instead of it being lined up like this, it's doing this as you're riding. So that's really uncomfortable. So what we're gonna do is simply, and I know why it's there to keep this in a safe place, but if you tighten this enough without over tightening, because it will snap, this little piece, it's enough to hold that in place. I mean, you're not putting any pressure on the clutch other than when you're applying it. There it comes, and there it is. That's it. You guys see this pin? That is going to allow us to, yeah, this is just put in there, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. See, so this goes in there, and then the handlebar sits in there, and it rests in there, right? And then it gets tightened, and this doesn't wiggle back and forth. But we need a little bit of room, because that is just incredibly uncomfortable to have your wrist a certain way. Now, you're not gonna have a lot of room, because there are limitations on space, right? I mean, you're not gonna be able to tilt it like this, which you don't want to either, because you have a hydraulic clutch. You don't want that bad boy too low, or, you know, too high to where you can catch air in the line. But if you can just tilt it forward just a few, I don't even think you got to go an inch. I'd probably go it's like a quarter of an inch, and that's going to make maybe half an inch, and that'll make all the difference in the world. I don't think anything more than that is necessary, and it'll become a little more comfortable. Your wrist isn't going to be leaning so far back. But let's put it on and we'll go from there. So what we're doing now is, see, the point of all this was to be able to tilt this way or this way, right? See, because when you're writing and it's stuck, see how my wrist is positioned? It's like doing this. You want this, instead of it being like this, you want it to be as straight as possible so that you can maintain a more comfortable writing position. You know what I mean? For longer periods of time. So we'll just go from here and tighten it here, and we'll just see what happens there. That's much better than this. It's not like perfect. You know what? Actually it is. This is the right spot. This is the exact spot where this needs to be in order to be more comfortable. This is a lot better. I really like it here. Cool. Now we're just going to tighten this back to sorry guys. We're just going to tighten this back to torque specs, which I couldn't tell you what they are. As you know from all my other videos, I always do it by hand. Be careful, don't over tighten this, because this will snap. This is a cast aluminum. It will snap. Okay, so just feel it out. Wow, much better. You can feel it instantly how much better this is. And just so you can see, look, this is the wrist, or this is my, what am I trying to say, guys? Sorry. You see how it's perfectly aligned instead of doing this or this? It's perfectly aligned here, okay? Now look at the brake. I'll show you the brake. Look. You see? You see that, like, to be able to do this, see? And I know there's an adjustment right there, this thing right here, but that's not the right way to do it. This should be, like, you know, this should be tilted to where when you're on the throttle, you know, you can immediately pump your brakes in case of an emergency or something. Really simple. You can wiggle some stuff out of there. Shouldn't be that complicated. And again, you're looking for this pin, okay? And it's not an Allen wrench, it's not anything else. All you're doing is pulling it out. It's not that complicated. It's really simple. So you gotta sit on the bike. Oh man, I keep hitting this thing. I'm trying to do this with one hand, so it's a little tough, but you get the point. What you want to do is just like you did on the clutch, make sure that it's at the right angle, right? And it's not too high or too low. So if we tilt this a little forward, right? And again, you're gonna have limitations on space, but look, this is a huge difference if I'm on throttle and then I need to come off immediately for an emergency situation, right? Then it's right here, instead of having to, like, it's almost natural, it's a natural motion, you know, instead of having to be here and then, you know, reach, and now you lose control of the bike. This is more about comfort than performance. So that's pretty much it, guys. It really is that simple. Pull that pin, screw this back on, and that's pretty much it. So see you guys in the next one. Peace.